When you're thinking about using a balance in chemistry class, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, what am I trying to measure? Now, if your answer is you're trying to measure mass, then you're using the right tool. If you're not trying to measure mass, if you're trying to measure volume or the number of something, then a balance isn't going to be your best tool. But if you're looking for mass, then you're on the right track. To properly use a balance, there are a couple of steps that we need to follow. First, these are our balances. Normally they're plugged in. This one isn't plugged in, so it won't actually turn on. The first thing you need to check is that it's plugged in and it's turned on. There's a button right down here that says on. You're going to push and hold that. I believe it'll count up to 4 or down from 4, and it'll turn on, and then there will be a number displayed right here. Before we add any objects to the balance, we need to zero it out. So we need to tell the balance that whatever mass is on the pan is actually 0 or no mass. So you're going to push the same on-off button. You're just going to push it once, and it'll zero it out. Your reading should say 0.00. This is also called tare-ing. If you're using a different balance, all of ours say 0, but tare is another word for this as well. Then you're going to add your object to the balance, and you're going to let it sit there. You're not going to touch it. You're just going to place it on the top. And then you're going to record the number that it reads. Now, the balance may the number on the balance may fluctuate a little bit, so you're going to wait for it to calm down as much as possible and give you a very consistent reading. Then that's the number that you're going to record. And then finally, when you're done, you're going to pick the object off and remove it from the balance. A couple of more notes. Think about the objects you want to place on the balance. Should we put liquids on our balance? Probably not. If we want to know the mass of a liquid, the thing we want to do is put our container first on the balance. Either know the mass of the container and then the mass of the container with the liquid, and we can subtract the mass of the container from our final value. Or you can put the container on here, then zero it. The balance will take into account the mass of the container you're using, then put your liquid in. Then the balance is reading only the mass of the liquid contained. You can put multiple objects on your balance. You just have to be careful that things don't spill or tip over and that they sit completely on top of the balance so that you get an accurate reading. Sometimes things such as heat, if you're putting in a hot object on the balance, will mess up your reading, so you don't want to put hot objects on the balance. Also, gusts from the air vent in the classroom can make your value fluctuate more. If you're in one of those situations, just do your best and take the closest, most steadiest value.